sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you
Welcome, everybody, and hello.
What you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix that you are.
Guests, gentlemen of great renown, individuals of high levels of success and beauty. They're just great to look at and fun to talk to. So we got Darren on and Blake Nubar, the man himself, joining us. Welcome, sir.
Appreciate you having us, man. I love these high performance calls. Andrew invites me to these, and every time just so everyone knows, every time Andrew invites me to these, I'm like, I'm in 100% because I know he's.
But if you say that, they're gonna then start demanding that I invite you like every week, every 3 days, like
Hey, you know what? I have not said no yet, so please, no one make sure I'm on. I would love to actually be on every call. I don't even mind because it's awesome to hang out with everyone. And plus I know Andrew and Darren, crush these things, and Darren comes on all the time. So I'd be honored to hop on a lot of these.
Well, we'll start dragging you on a bit.
Probably just dug my own grave, didn't I?
Yeah, be careful.
It's okay.
You start promising work, that's.
I know it happens.
You got to learn to say no once in a while.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I'm really bad at that.
So today I wanted to do a little bit different. Like, obviously we got Darren on too. I wanted to kind of round table a few things, but at the same time, we've got some of the members have kind of given their profile. So we're going to evaluate them. We're going to look at them, and everybody that has given their page, I've kind of prepped them and said, look, we're going to be honest and we're going to be real. And we're going to talk about it and give you the positives, but we are going to say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? And some of those things may simply be, hey, Blake's already given you that training. Just go back to this module and follow it and actually do it. So, but we're allowed to be, everyone's given us their permission to be as brutally honest as we want, and they won't take it personal. They know that we're coming from a place of love and everything else. So, but right. Before I did, so I was just talking, Blake, one of the things I thought was kind of cool is, the three of us on here, we've all been kind of in this online space now for a number of years, but in totally different ways, right? Like you launched the way that you did and kind of you built out this funnel, figured out what it was, had one that didn't go well, and then some that did, right? And then Darren kind of came along and he's done the affiliate marketing and he's worked support with ClickFunnels. And then I've done, e-com and Shopify and Amazon. And then I've done the affiliate side and high ticket side, and then helping course creators and working through different things and doing a lot of kind of JV type relationships and building out different ways. And so, what do you think for you as you kind of go into this year? We haven't had you on this year yet. Like, what are you looking to kind of double down on? And then I want to kind of ask you guys what you wanting to expand on. Like, what have you done well that you're like, I need to make it even better this year?
Yeah. So I think what we've done well is we've built up an incredible team of human capital, like Darren and myself and Sean and Ace and everyone, all the support staff, in a way where we challenge ourselves daily to create the best of the best in those divisions. Like, I think in terms of Darren's weekly calls, his coaching, I don't think there's anyone better. In terms of your high performance, I don't think there's anyone better. In terms of our support staff and the response time, I think a lot of people can understand that how fast we push them, right? It might as well be live chat. That's how aggressive we are with making sure that, everyone in here and all of our members, they get their questions answered. And by the way, speaking on support, if you guys feel like you never got your question answered, it's probably answered in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You just got to log back into your support tickets because that's a question we get. But aside from that, I think we've done that really well. And we push ourselves to do it better and better every time. And we're going to continue doing that. Because at the end of the day, one thing I learned early on, the whole reason I got into this space is because I just cared about people. Like, I was like, the number one marketing strategy you could ever do in life is caring. And I think a lot of marketers they put profits before people, and we're kind of the opposite of that. That's why we strive to have a great team and great support staff, because at the end of the day, people connect with people. And whether you're you want to make all this money in the world, you want to make little, like, to us, like, it's funny. It's like, what's the saying? They say money doesn't buy happiness, but everyone wants to find that out for themselves. And when you find that out for yourself, you realize, like, if you built a foundation strictly off making money and profits, you're not going to be happy. You're going to have your happiness doesn't change, right? You might buy that new car or whatever, and it might make you happy for a little bit, but eventually that's going to fade. But if you build a foundation off caring in people, your happiness and your business is going to grow. So what I think we've done well.
So with but because you've got the human capital, you've got the team that's worked there. Because honestly, and I've mentioned this, like I've been in the space, I've worked with a lot of different people at a high level. And you're right. Like the value that Darren delivers, because I kind of joke about it, but I call him kind of this walking encyclopedia when it comes to ClickFunnels in this program. And you don't get that often. And then your availability and how well you do it. And Ace, for everybody that doesn't know, is Ace there? He should.
No, Ace is he's out of town right now, but yeah.
But always the guy behind the scenes, and like if you guys go to Blake's social media, the Lead Machine page book, like his landing page, just look at his glasses. Ace is the guy in Blake's glasses in the video.
Yeah, Ace is a beast. He's my business partner, and we started this together a few years back.
But I mean, as great as things are, what do you do to get better? Like, what's the next step?
You gotta learn. I'm not good enough yet to. It's you don't know what you don't know, right? Like at the end of the day, I think the biggest sabotage you could ever create as a first time business owner or an experienced one is thinking you know it all. And I'll be the first to say I love being the dumbest person in the room because I don't know what I don't know. Do I think our team is exceptional? Hands down. Do I think we could be better? Yes. Do I know what we can do to be better? Not really yet, but those experiences come as a result of learning more and more and more about business every single day. So what can we do to be better? We're going to find out. But I know the second that we do find out, speaking for myself, I think Darren will agree, the whole team, even yourself, Andrew, will agree. We'll do whatever it takes to become those people, to wear those shoes and step in those footsteps to constantly improve and optimize and be better on every level. So this year, we're going to constantly optimize the team. Like, for example, when Darren and I started working together, Darren came in, you attract people like you. That's how the law of attraction, okay? Is if you think it's goofy, whatever. If you don't think it's goofy, then maybe you'll understand, you can relate to this. But I didn't believe in that crap for the longest time. And then you realize how true it kind of is. You attract like-minded individuals into your ecosystem. Darren came to me at Funnel Hacking Live in Orlando, the same way that Sean came to me one day, and they're like, hey, I want to be involved with this and help out. And Darren and I start working together. I was like, dude, all day. And next thing I know, Darren is like a spitting image of me, who's a spitting image of Sean, who's a spitting image of all of our support staff. And we've created this team, this ecosystem of people that just want to help other people. Like when Darren's on some of my coaching calls, I don't even ask this of him because it's not even something he's responsible of doing. But someone will have a question, for example, they'll be like, I can't figure out this SMTP issue. And this is not even part of the program. And Darren's the first one to go, hey, so-and-so, reach out to me. We'll set up a private one-on-one coaching session, Zoom, and I'll walk you through the entire thing. I never told Darren to do that. I never expect Darren to do that, right? But Darren does that because of the ecosystem we fostered here, where he enjoys doing it, enjoys helping people out. So we are creating this kind of machine of human capital, and every day we're going to improve. But in terms of what we can do better, I don't really know yet. I'll figure that out once I slam on my face with it and realize, okay, let's fix that and make that better. And I think we're going to focus really hard this year on exploring growth in human capital and refining our processes and everything we have in place to ensure a better experience for our customers. Because at the end of the day, a business only exists because of customers.
Yeah. What about you, Darren? What are you doubling down on or improving on this year? What's the big focus?
Exactly that. Like it's what I actually started off with inside of the program. I came in actually through the social media Lead Machine, and then eventually into the Blake's Partner program, where I decided to actually turn away from my Lead Machine and focus on everybody else who are having problems inside of the group. And by doing that, I attracted Blake's attention. So if I was able to do that without even running any paid ads, I wasn't charging anybody for any of these calls or anything. This is way before the Accelerator program was even born. And then suddenly Blake started highlighting me live inside of the group and saying, hey, there's this guy inside of the group. I haven't even asked him to support. Now, if this is something that you're really good at, knuckle down on it. Like if you can go out there and help people, all we have to do is just learn that one little step. And then you're one step ahead of someone else. And if you learn a couple more steps, you may be a chapter or a book ahead of somebody else, you know? So it can be overwhelming when we first start out, but just really understand there's a couple of things to really just understand is one, embrace failure. Blake says it inside of his calls. Go for wins, go for their wins. And that's what I did. I started to go for everybody else's wins. I forgot about my funnel and just worked with everybody. I started jumping on Zoom calls. And then Blake said, hey, do you want to call with you? And I didn't know what it was really all about. I was scared.
I'm going to kick you out. You're doing too much.
That's what it felt like.
but that's what happens in a lot of different groups. You know, when you have someone that's almost helping too much and they go, oh, you're trying to sell my people, or you're trying to do this, or you're making me look bad. You know, and meanwhile, Blake pops in and goes, no, I want you as part of the team. You know, it does. It changes things. And if you guys pay attention, like, hear what they're saying and then what I've said. So like my big thing for this year is doubling down on relationships, right? But doing it intentionally. Like, you know, these calls, everything else I do, it's about lifting other people, right? I mean, I enjoy talking. I can't keep my mouth shut, but I enjoy doing these because it helps them, because I've been helped so much. So my big goal is intentional relationship. It's human capital. It's just what Blake was saying. It's just a different way of saying it, right? And how can I better myself to help other people? How can I find other people that could help those people that I work with, right? Like, how can I bring people in that would connect with Blake? How can I, bring people in that'll connect with Darren, with other people on these calls? Like, if we can do that in one way or another, bring value, like that's truly what it's all about. So,
and Andrew, cool. That's good. That's interesting you say that, because my next recommendation would be, aside from what we want to work on, and obviously, aside from working on our team and making it the best Avengers team on earth, we're obviously going to improve the product. We're going to constantly stay up to date. We're going to be ahead of trends. And, obviously Darren has his goals, and Andrew, you have what you're trying to work on. But what you're trying to work on is really good advice for everyone just getting started online, right? And that is network and build relationships. I hated networking when I got started. I hated talking to people. I was so embarrassed and shy, and I got anxiety, right? But then when you realize, like, everyone's kind of trying to do the same thing, the people that you might be shy or you don't want to network with are also there to network. Anything goes. Any cold outreach email goes. It works because they're trying to accomplish the same thing. So if I was just getting started again, the way that I would say my career started taking off was one simple thing. I started reaching out to people when I was brand new. I had no name. I had no brand. And I'm not saying I have a big brand now, but I was ground zero, no followers, no nothing. And all I would do was reach out to people and try and help them with anything, with any skill set I thought I had that I could reach out and help them with. And that goodwill builds up so much that it comes back tenfold to you when you maybe need a favor or you need some help. Always go into a situation looking to help someone, and always go into a situation not expecting anything in return. And the amount of goodwill that you could build up is insane. I did that for a couple years, but I'm a lunatic with it. You only have to do it. It could take a couple months, right? It doesn't take
even less. I've been talking about, so like I had taken time off from my social media, like wasn't as super active. So I've got all these followers on Instagram, but then zero engagement because I wasn't posting for like a year and a half. Right. And then doing more. But it's just that little bit is starting to create that engagement and people reaching out and getting on some of those calls. And I know, so Anne's talking about not liking posting, and I know when Blake's talking about getting on a phone call or talking with someone, a lot of people freak the hell out about that. And you don't necessarily have to, but we're talking about things that can help you scale so much faster, right? Like I've got several calls booked with people that I'm going to bring on to, these calls, right? To just talk about different stuff, powerful women and men that I'm meeting in all sorts of different categories. Like the only reason we've had someone on talking about neurofeedback therapy, and we've had the brand doctor, Henry Kaminsky. I don't know if you know him from ClickFunnels, but, just talking about stuff because I decided to have a conversation, guys. It's just getting, doing it. I mean,
exactly.
Really.
Yeah. And be open.
And it doesn't exactly. And it doesn't take long. Like, and I hated posting every day too. I think the main goal is never go, we'll call it reverse cold turkey, right? It's like, don't go from like thinking you've never posted to posting every day. Post Post once a week, start there, right? Whatever gets you slightly out of your comfort zone is the best way, because one thing I learned very quickly in business and in life, nothing great ever comes from a comfort zone. So if you hate doing something, if you don't like doing it, if it scares you, that means those are the things you need to be doing for personal growth. Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is nothing more than personal growth. Your business will grow as much as you're willing and able to.
Yeah,
and
you're never going to grow beyond what you personally develop. You'll never earn more than what you personally develop as well.
And a good example, right? Like, I'm not capable of running $1 billion business right now. I'm not. I don't have those skill sets. That's just, I'm aware of that right now, right? What it takes to actually run a business of that caliber, you got to be really good and really experienced. I'm not there yet. I hope to get there one day, right? I hope to have that impact on the world, but I know I'm not there yet. So what am I doing? Every single day, I'm taking the small little baby steps forward of stuff I am scared and petrified of doing, knowing that each step I take forward is going to get me closer to becoming skilled enough to be able to put myself in a position to have that type of role. And I implore everyone to start doing those little micro, we'll just call them baby steps, right? Something that you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing that right now because I'm tired, I'm laying in bed. Get out of bed, do that one thing you didn't want to do. Even if it's getting the mail and you were maybe too lazy at that moment not to do it, those little changes in your life will start reshaping and changing the way that your mind thinks to start doing the things in business that maybe you didn't want to do. But it all starts with that uncomfortable change. And if you can break through that barrier and start making those changes, I promise you everything, even in your business and your life and your relationships, is going to change for the positive. It might suck at first. It might feel uncomfortable, but I promise you, I went through the same phase. I think a lot of Darren and Andrew, we've all gone through this. I'm sure a lot of people on this call have had experiences in their life where they had to make changes, and you somehow, humans come out on top. And I think that's the goal here, is start to make those changes. And one of them is, like Andrew's doing, start networking and building better relationships with people, because like they always say, as cliched as it is, your network is your net worth. Or is it net worth?
It really is, but you can level that up so much, guys. But you have to be, what I'm talking about this year is it's intentional, right? Like, I'm going after the relationships that I want. I'm not spending a bunch of time with people that I don't want to spend time with, right? Because all it's going to do is cause me drama or drag me down or get me frustrated. I'd rather keep that circle real tight, right? So, all right, let's get into, and we can just chat as we go along. So first one I want to look at is James. He's on right now. I know he's driving, but so Darren and I talked about James's page the other day, and we gave him some recommendations, and he's already started to do some of it, which is good. So one of the things here, let me do this here. So, this was clear. We talked to him about moving from the intro, putting his link down into his about area, which he did, which is great. But so Blake, his niche is artists, right? Okay. So people that sell art in one way or another, photography, things like that. And when we looked at it, he didn't really have any art on here. And so I told him the other day, I was like, hey, you should do that. And then look, like, he posts yesterday, here's some pictures, and these are, James, if you did, these are phenomenal.
Those are killer. Are those paintings or pictures?
Those are drawings that I did.
Are good.
Wow, they look amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so post more of this shit, dude. Like, this is fantastic. And look, 40 comments and 7 shares. Like, you're connecting with the audience, and they're seeing you, so they're able to connect.
James, you know what you should do? Here's what I would do too. I would set up a camera, and whether you have to position it face down or however they can see, I assume from the roof down, and do like what's it called where you like speed it up? I'm so
time
terrible.
Lapse.
Yeah, time lapse, you actually drawing and post that. That'd be really cool. And then I would even do because that's all content based around what you're trying to accomplish. So anything in the art and drawing world, I mean, the content is limitless. You can even talk about like the supplies you go and get. Like there's so much stuff you can do, but I think showing video content of you actually in action, drawing those out too, you get a ton of views on them.
Yeah, Joe's talking about it. Would be
I've seen a few people done that.
It'd be awesome on TikTok. It would be great just about anywhere. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, post more of that stuff. People want to connect with that, right? You're going to attract people into your ecosystem that love it, and you're going to repel people that don't. Because at the end of the day, that's what we should all be doing. Never be afraid to, you want to bring in people that like the things you like, that like the content you produce, and you want to repel the people that don't like it, because that's what makes a great ecosystem. So yeah, James, I would exploit the different areas in art that you could do to get people to start positioning yourself as the expert, because clearly you have a really good skill set. And then you're going to start getting attention. The next thing that's going to happen in phase, someone's going to reach out and they're going to go, hey, what else do you do? Or how can you help me? And that's when you start, going in for the, hey, this is what I also do. I have a way that you can generate, A, B, and C for your business, which leads in sales.
Show some of those. Like, you probably have some old drawings when you were first starting out that sucked, and then now you've gotten better. Like, show some of those and talk about, bring up those points, the before and afters, when you begin and later on. And, maybe you're doing this with your business and you struggled at the beginning and now you're here. Feature other artists, but that kind of thing, obviously it resonates visually. It's beautiful. It's something that calls people's attention, right? People are much more likely to respond to something like that than simply the meme. Use some of your own art, put it on Canva, and put your quotes on that instead of borrowing someone else's image. Right?
Good idea.
So,
Yes.
all right. So next, we've got Nike. So we had looked at hers the other day. Nike, you said you had a couple of questions on. So Blake, this is her. She does with fitness and health is where she's at. She's got her link here.
Yeah.
So Nike, you had some questions?
Oh, really quick. James' link was like the first thing that was up underneath the bio. How do I get my link to be the first thing to show?
You got to hide the other stuff, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it makes
Can't just move it. Okay.
Like, if you want people to know, so what I do is I get rid of all the information I don't think people really care about. For example, like, I live in Orlando, Florida. I had that same thing. I deleted it. I just hid it. And that's what I just do, stuff like that. If you go to, you can click it. Yeah. I have the creator and I can't control followed. But then I have my link down there to our group right now. But yeah, you can just, when you go into your section and you edit your profile, it will ask you if you want to show it or not. I kind of hide everything that you think is really irrelevant, honestly.
Okay.
That's what I did. I have creator at Blake Nubar because I want people to land on that page sometimes. And then I can't control the followed, I don't think. And then the other one, I have my link.
Get rid of those.
But it's not a bad thing. Like, if you want to show that you're married and you're okay with that, it's not like someone's gonna not see the link, right? They're gonna see the link. But obviously each step that something's higher, it's gonna get more prioritization in the mind of the consumer.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, so my question is, I've been playing around with, so they can click on our profile picture and then our banner in different places and the link shows up. So how important is it to have the same terminology? Because I was playing around with fitness professionals one place and entrepreneurs in the other place, and then health core business in another place. Should they all say the same thing? Because I feel like I'm in a group of yoga instructors, and then I have the personal trainers, and then there's a group that call themselves fitness professionals.
Sure. So I'm a fan of consistency. I think once you start acknowledging different niches, even though they're probably not, right? Like, an entrepreneur can still be a fitness professional, and a fitness professional can still be an entrepreneur. I'm always a fan of not confusing your audience in terms of, even if it, to us, right, we don't think it's confusing, but to someone else, they might read entrepreneur and identify as an affiliate marketer when you want them to identify as a fitness professional. So I'm always a fan of consistency across it. That would be like I do the same thing for everyone, I think, on mine. And then B, just know that the main thing they're going to click is going to be your cover photo, because that's the one that has the button. So I would start, what you could do is you could start testing the different identification points, like how someone you think would identify in that first one, and then comb it through all of them. So for example, let's say you want to associate with entrepreneurs, right? Like that's what you want to start using. I would wipe everything with entrepreneurs. And then after maybe like a couple weeks, switch it out for something new and kind of test the results. Did you see more clicks from one versus the other? But ultimately, the majority of people are going to click that cover photo. So that's going to be the most important headline that you have. That's going to be the main thing people see, because it's the one that really, for Facebook, it's the biggest photo. If you guys go to anyone's Facebook page right now, it's the first photo you're seeing, aside from maybe a quick glimpse at the profile picture. It's that big cover photo in the background. So that's going to be the one the majority of people are going to click. And that's the one I would focus on most in terms of what you want to put there.
Okay.
One way to kind of check with your audience too is you guys are in these groups where your audience is. Take a look at some of their profiles and see how they're self-identifying. You'll have, if you go in and you look up 10 and 8 of them say fitness professional in one way or another, then go with that. If they all say entrepreneur, then go with that. And that's how I like do that little bit of research ahead of time. So you're connecting with the audience, right? You're speaking their language.
Okay, good. I have a couple questions. Is that okay? A few more?
Sure, go ahead. One more, and then we'll hop on to another.
Yeah, so the business page, we talked about how people don't see it as much. So should we be posting every day on the business page and our profile page? And then on one of the Facebook training module, it said, don't post the same thing everywhere.
Yeah. So I like to mix it up. Like what's crazy is the Facebook engagement. I feel like for the business page has kind of gone through the roof.
Has it recently?
I don't know. Go to my page. It was crazy what I was looking at on the last few posts I had. So for example, I didn't mean to post that there. That's not even that bad, right? But keep going down. Like if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small, 452 reactions, 37 shares. Go down to the paratrooper one, 400. I proposed in Santorini, 429 there. One share I proposed, like it started going crazy, 600. And I was like, what is going on? So I don't know if something adjusted in Facebook's algorithm with it. So I got more inspired about the business page too. So what I do, you'll notice I post different stuff. Like I never posted, the only reason that ink posted there was because I think it's hooked up when I post on my personal or when I post on my Instagram.
Wait, it's okay. We're talking about this in a second, but it's okay to little humble brag there.
I didn't even know that post on my business page. But the last one, right? A closed mouth doesn't get fed. If you want something, don't be afraid to ask for it, right? I never post on my personal profile. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small mind. I never post that on my personal profile. So I like to mix it up. If you're just getting started, the easiest way is post the same thing. Even if you heard me say like, don't post the same thing, there's always exceptions to the rule, right? If you want to post the same thing to get started, do it. But I'm always a fan of like mixing it up too, because look, the personal profile, there's some stuff where I post where it's personal, right? Maybe it's about a family or something. I'll never post something like that to a business page, right? Like, look, my fiance, right? I'm not posting that to my business page because it's still my personal profile. And I'm going to post that. But on my business page, I want it to be all inspirational, all business, all things like that. So there's different contexts. And I guess the best advice is respect the context of the page. And a business or a brand page, people want to see the stuff related to what it is that you're doing.
And just for people that earlier were fussing about spending so much time on social media, look, guys, this didn't take a lot of time to post. Maybe he thought about it a little bit and went, oh, that's a cool quote. But like
I heard it on a TikTok, Andrew, and I was like, I resonate with that. I'm going to share it. It was that quick. Like,
and took you what, 10 seconds to type that out?
I typed it from my phone in like 9 seconds.
Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be always this long drawn out post, right? So there are different things that you can do. And like he's talking about with your personal and your business page, and Darren, by all means, feel free to jump in. I'm just talking over. But some people are following your personal and some are following the business. So if, like Blake's saying at the very beginning, if you want to if you can only come up with the one post, you want to share it in 2 different places, okay, because there's a chance that who sees your personal may not be seeing the business page and vice versa, right? So, I mean, worst case scenario, yeah, post it because it's better than nothing.
Correct. Yeah. At the end of the day, like just have stuff on your business page. There's nothing that looks more skeptical than going to a business page that has just nothing on it, you know? So like Andrew was saying, some post is better than no post. Even if you're like, I don't know about this, it doesn't matter. Get content on that page, because when people click on it, they don't want to see that it's been dead for like ever. They want to see like, okay, there's stuff on it because it builds credibility.
It also kills an intrigue as well. Like imagine if you actually walk past a restaurant and there's nobody in there, but you know it's like the best one in town, but it's open. There's a few people in there, but there's just nobody in there at that time. Now imagine if you actually go into a particular page or a profile and there's nothing there too. Same thing. Start filling it up with people or content, and then people will start to resonate with that. But the other thing that I found intriguing with what Blake was posting, especially when he was flying over to Greece and get engaged, is that some of the content would land on his personal profile, but I wouldn't see everything because some of it would be in his page, and it kind of made you feel like as a user on the other side, like where is he? Yeah, because now I'm actually following him, so it causes intrigue.
And that's a great example, Darren. It's like I can't remember, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate here. Have you ever gone somewhere and it was so dead you kind of just walked out, right? And it's like nothing draws a crowd quite like a crowd. The same with content. Nothing draws people like content. So if you have a bunch of content on that page, people are going to be more inspired to check it out versus if there's nothing on the page, people are probably just going to walk away from it. So that was a great example, Darren. I like that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great strategy. Next time you guys want to create a ton of engagement, just fly to Santorini and propose to somebody. And, no,
long overdue.
Yeah. I hear you, my man. I'm following through on some commitments in that regard myself. All right. So before we hop over to Kim's, Blake, congratulations. Number 12.
Thank you. Yeah. We're fortunate, right? And that comes down to our, the team, Andrew and Sean and Darren and our whole team. We were fortunate enough to hit number 12 on Southeast. We're going for 5,000 now. We're going for nationwide next. It was a humbled honor. So it was cool.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Okay, Kimberly is here. All right, let me close these. Sorry, guys. All right, so you got your banner is set up here. You got your women in business lead machine. Okay. So she's going after women entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, everyone, happy St. Patty's Day. I totally forgot. I should be wearing green today. I'm going to get pinched.
Yeah, we're all drunk already, right?
Yeah.
We'll move the high performance to a little bit later in the day.
Yeah.
And do that.
I'm sure in my hometown they are. Little town in Iowa, everybody's drunk by 9 a.m. on St. Patrick's.
Trashed.
Yep.
Let's see, you got to love when it's the middle of the week. It's going to be an interesting weekend. All right. So here's her personal page. So any thoughts right off the bat? Banner?
Yeah. So for the cover photo, Kimberly, what I would do is I would specify women in business. Women in business is really broad. If there's a way to kind of niche down a little further, like women in this type of business, I think it would get a lot more attention. Because for example, like if I saw a banner that said men in business, I'd probably ignore it just because it's not really speaking to me. And in 2022 and moving forward aggressively, people demand you speak directly to who they are and what they're doing. So I would try and just like be a little more specific of what type of women in business. In fitness, are they in retail? Are they in CEO roles? Like what's that position? And I would go a little more hardcore on that. And also with your story, Andrew, if you scroll down a little bit to the left on the where it says collections, I would make another collection too.
I didn't know how to get rid of that, but I'm just warming this because it's like I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah,
I would keep it. I would keep it.
Okay.
I would keep it. I mean, it's cool. It shows personality as well. Like that stuff doesn't always have to be business related. You just want to make sure you have business stuff in it. So I would add maybe another one whenever you can and start populating it with content around your niche. So whether that is photos you can find with quotes on them, right? You don't have to like go reinvent the wheel. You can just like create your own stuff and quotes about it, and you can get off to a good start.
Okay.
Kimberly, did you create this? Like, this is a brand new page. You got no friends on here yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have one, which is my assistant. But yeah, I just created it. I mean, a year ago, before I even met Blake, I had nothing on Facebook, and so I've just been warming this with kitty pictures and just little things. And the same thing with my business page. If you go over there, I've been warming it. I really have no friends. We have, I think, 2 or 3 groups we're in that are about women entrepreneurs and business owners that we're starting to do engagement. I can look at my groups.
Well, everyone go add Kimberly as a friend if that's okay.
Oh, well, they've been trying, but I didn't accept a lot of people because Andrew was saying don't fill them all with Blake's people,
Well, what I've said is like you don't want it to be just because the way the algorithm works is, if I accept 25 different partner program people, then for the next few weeks, the only thing I'm going to see are other partners, and I love you guys to death, but I see you every day on the high performance calls. Like, I'm looking, I'm trying to build my business. Now, a little bit of support, absolutely. A handful here and there, that's great. And if you know some people and you want to take an extra 5 minutes, type in their name, go to their page, like their stuff, that's fine. But I mean, what Blake's saying ultimately though, Kim, like, you got to start friending some people. You got to start connecting. You got to drive that up. Because if the same type of thing, if Facebook sees that you've got one person, like, it won't put you in front of anybody else either. So you want to start requesting.
No sales on that. Can you click on the business page to get a quick opinion on that?
Kimberly's savage. We got to pay her to be your friend. I'm gonna send you a Venmo payment, Kimberly, to accept my friend request.
Okay.
So let's see.
And what you're finding out inside of this program as well, other people who are in the program are adding each other as friends. It's okay to add a couple here and there. You get some reciprocation as well. And as you build that reciprocation, I mentioned on one of the previous calls, I think it was like two calls back with Andrew, we're talking about a pay me method. The first one is priming your feed. The second one is posting. When you do that post and you've already primed your feed and you've actually done that specific strategy that I mentioned on 2 calls back, you've got that reciprocation. So other people are going to come back and engage. And you saw on Blake's page and personal profile, it just goes through the roof. Eventually, you see, you'll start to see the engagement start to spike up. It spikes up in the algorithm. It starts to show it on other people's stories and in the feed as well. And an old post can be brought back to the top as well. So keep adding people. You're allowed to add like 5,000 people on your personal profile. You can clean that out afterwards as well. So when you're starting out, kind of just add the people that are in your industry as well, but you can add people inside of the program too.
Okay.
And good advice for everyone here. What Darren was mentioning about priming your profile. It's key when you're going to make a post in a group or something. You never know what post is going to go viral. Sometimes I post in group and they just die a miserable death to the ground, like no engagement, right?
You're like, all right, nobody likes.
I'm like, all right, no one liked that one. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow, right? And then there's sometimes you'll have these posts that they just explode, and you always want to be prepared because the first thing everyone does when you are viewed as center of attention for your post, right? If you go to any group and you see a post that just exploded, that person is kind of like, master for the day, right? And what everyone
become the moderator
does,
in a way.
they win. And it's like what everyone does is they go and they click their profile. And you want to make sure when they click your profile that your first post is like something even semi-related to that or related to what you do so they can get more things. So for example, let's say I go into a group and I post about how, this is just hypothetical, how I generated leads for a client of mine. It's like, hey, generate 25,000 new leads. And this is going to be just a crazy example, but generate 25,000 new leads in the last 48 hours with a client. Here's the strategy. And I broke down the strategy into 3 parts. First thing someone's doing is they're clicking my profile, they're coming to my page. And the first post I would have on my page is like, hey, interested in getting more leads for your business? Schedule a call here, or click this link to check this out here. Because everyone's going to do it when you have that much success on something. So I always tend to post, you want to post something of value in a group, because groups are there to, like, if you're in a group, you're there to like what's in it for me, right? That's kind of why everyone's in a group. I'm here because I need to learn something so I can get some end result or goal I'm looking for. So I always look to provide value in groups aside from small win posts. And then on your profile, have a direct call to action. Okay, hey, you got value from that post. It's going a little more viral. You're going to click the link. You're going to come to my profile. On my profile, you're going to click the CTA that I have, and chances are you're going to get sales and lead flow from it. That's exactly how I started. One of my biggest pushes ever. I posted in the ClickFunnels group about a funnel I designed. And then I was prepared on my profile to have a direct CTA. I got like 13 new projects in a day.
And so the CTA he's talking about, that's a call to action. So that's where you have the button on your banner. That's why you have the link in your profile. That's why you have, this a post that's pinned that's relevant. So
yeah, exactly.
When people are starting out and they don't necessarily have like the story of 25,000 leads for a client, what would be an example that, I'm going to set up my profile, right? I've got it all customized. I've got my banner. I've got my links. I've got that set up. I put in a post, I pin it to the top. Darren's got a great one, so I've got something pinned there to drive them to my 2-step order form or something. What's an example of someone starting out in a group? Like, here's something I can do. Here's a post that I can put that's going to drive them over.
Go take someone else's, go borrow. It's called borrowing authority, right? If you don't have the authority, borrow someone else's. Like, go research a strategy that someone did in terms of generating leads or sales and post that advice. Like, for example, like Tony Robbins' 3-step secret to generating unlimited leads for his coaching business, and break down Tony Robbins' strategy, for example, right? People are going to be like, wow, great value. They're going to click your profile and they're going to go, hey, want to learn how to generate leads like Tony Robbins did? Click this link and let me show you how you can do it. So if you don't have the authority, you can borrow it from someone else that has already done it. And all you're doing is you're just a content curator, right? The most successful businesses, if you think about them, they don't necessarily create content, they curate it, right? Netflix never, until like a couple years ago when they started their own studio, they never created a movie or a show in their life. They just grabbed all of them, curated the content, organized it in a way, and we pay them for that
so
organization.
Here, it's all in one spot.
Exactly. Like information already exists. Okay. I want everyone to know that information already exists. People are paid on how well they can organize and deliver it. So knowing that, right, when you go to, like, if you want to go get a master's degree in business, you can technically get all of that information on YouTube and in a library. You can. Now, is it going to take you 10 times as long? Yes, because it's not organized. No one's delivering it to you. You have to go figure things out for yourself. But if you take the role in the infancy stages of becoming the curator, right, where you're not going out there and you're necessarily creating content from scratch, even though you can, right? Original content's always great, but you can go and find content that someone else already has, organize it in your way, deliver it in a way that you think is better. People are going to look at that and assume that you are the one to get credited for it. Okay. You give credit to the ones you learn from first. If you guys have ever read Russell's books, .com Secrets, it was a big smash. Russell teaches all of these concepts, right? Like the value ladder and the Seinfeld sequence and all of these different marketing concepts. Well, as a reader, when you read the book, I instantly give credit to Russell Brunson. I'm like, Russell taught me that. But if you read in the book, Russell always gives credit to the actual originator. The difference is I have no relationship with the originator on the Seinfeld sequence. So who do I give credit to? The person I learned it from first. So if you're the person to teach someone first, they're instantly going to look at you as a person to give credit to, aside if you took that from someone else and put your own spin on it. So you can go, like, to Andrew's question, what can you do? Go take someone else's content, put your twist on it, deliver it slightly different, and you're now going to get credit for it, and people are still going to click back to your profile.
Can I ask one question on that?
Yes.
And Andrew, can you go back to my thing and go to the business page? Because when you're talking about the pinning,
your business page isn't on here unless this is your. No, you don't have your business page on here.
This is personal.
So you can't go to my business page from there?
You don't have it. No.
So
I've got, if you go to mine, I've got one of my business pages is right here, and I've got another one right here.
Mm-hmm.
So when
you can go to my business page there. So you can put it in your profile. Where are you? I left it. So you can go and you can put it in your profile here. You don't have it right now.
How do I get to show you right now? So you can
make a business page?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah. So you would go into
what's your business page name?
I can't believe it's not connected to that. So it's
Women in Confidence.
Yeah, Women in Confidence.
and confidence.
And Andy.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was linked to it.
Second one,
Is this it?
Way at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you have it. Yeah, you've got. So here's the thing. Like you've got the and sign. You've got another page that's up there that's women and written out.
Okay.
That's my why.
Okay, I'll check on that.
And so you want to. So anyway, so here's your page.
Your page looks great, Kimberly. It looks awesome.
Thanks. And what got tagged to the top, and I don't even know how I freaking did it, but it was through something you told me how to do. But is that thing. And so is that okay to have that pinned to the top? Because that catches people's attention right away.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think it looks like a website. It's great.
Okay.
Looks like a pretty cool video. I mean, where'd that get done?
Yeah.
And then that link takes them to is my bit.ly to take them to the other one. So
I would do on here. I would add, some of these are great. I would add, like, write something in here instead of just your hashtags.
Okay.
Right. Add a little bit more.
Yeah. Talk about like your life and your business. Like the stuff that gets the most engagement is stuff when you can become very vulnerable and very controversial. Or controversial. It's scary, right? Like not many people like to be controversial. Okay. It's like but when you do, and you become vulnerable and you open up, posts start exploding. My biggest posts are the ones where I'm just straight up like being a savage. It has the most engagement. The ones where I'm like being polite and like giving true value in a polite way instead of like a raw, truthful way do way worse. Like it's weird. It's like, as humans, we hate the truth, but yet when we read about it, we react very well to it. So it's bizarre, but yeah, it's like, we want to be entertained by controversial stuff and vulnerabilities, because people can start relating to that. Like when someone opens up about I read a post the other day, someone was like going through like a suicidal moment, and it was the saddest thing in the world, but the level of engagement was through the roof, because you got to see for the first time how many people came out of the woodwork and got to experience that with that person on like, hey, I went through a similar time like that, right? Or someone said, I went through a similar time.
In a way, yeah, sometimes it allows, like, if Blake's vulnerable, then it lets me kind of open up,
Correct.
And people like to do that, because he mentioned it earlier, and we talk about it all the time, but people buy from people connect to people.
Yeah.
And even if you're going to brand yourself as the company, having yourself as kind of a spokesperson is, tremendous in that regard. You've got Rich Dad, Poor Dad as the brand. Kiyosaki is the brand, though, in front of it, right? Blake has Laptop Freedom. Blake's the brand, right? Darren's got himself, and his pictures, he's out there with his hat and he's flexing. Like it's just part of that brand. But when he speaks and opens up, people are able to connect with it. So be willing to just be real, guys. When we, you can call it transparent, you can call it authentic, you call it whatever the hell you want, but sometimes you just need to be a person.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of the time when I was actually in the Blake's Planner program, when I was just beginning. I was scared of doing videos. I didn't know what to do, video editing, all that kind of stuff. I was just throwing myself in the deep end, just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And, when Blake is instructing you to do certain things, I was thinking, right, let's get this done. And eventually I was thinking, okay, now I have to actually post this inside of the group. I didn't have to. There was only 305 people inside of the group. And when I posted it, I was scared for what people would say.
Yeah.
And now that's one of the posts that people refer back to, even inside of the accelerator calls. Someone referred back to him and says, hey, that cat, the one with the invisible cap, I watched that. I was like, whoa, okay. So there's people inside of the group who are still looking at some of the old content that we posted.
Yeah, more than
2012. Yeah, 2 years later.
Has anyone seen the video of Watch Me Fail? Has anyone seen that video in the group? Yeah, if you go watch that video, I did not want to post it, but I was like, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable and show people the truth aside from creating content. And how
is that the one where you swore at yourself and hated yourself?
Yeah, where I'm just like in front of the camera the whole time.
Oh my God, it was hilarious. I loved that one.
That was me being, did I want to, was I wanting to post that? No, I was like embarrassed and like, no, I don't want it. But at the same time, again, back to our original conversation earlier in the call, you got to step out of your comfort zone. I knew that I needed to post that, not for me, but for everyone else that thinks that people on camera just are amazing actors. It's not the case. Anytime you see an ad, even a video or a movie in theaters, trust me, there are hundreds and hundreds of outtakes on those scenes where they royally effed up and they had to shoot it again.
A lot of people have come in and they saw the welcome video where you and I are up on the parking garage, right? In downtown Orlando.
Took like 8 takes, 10 takes.
At least. I walked up and they had been up there. Ace and Blake had been up there filming for a while. And I walked up and I'm like, I'm walking into a party or something. Cause there's like 10 bottles of champagne off to the side that he'd been trying to use to get the take going over and over and over again. And meanwhile, security's walking up like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Yep.
You know,
good example. If you guys remember at the end of this, do you guys remember the welcome page where I have the champagne and I'm like so excited, I'm spraying the champagne. It was like right when you get in the program. We had to buy like 12 bottles because I knew I was going to mess it up one way or another. And sure enough, we got down to like the last 2 bottles until I nailed like the
like this better work right now because otherwise
had no choice. But like just that's why I posted that video, because I want everyone to understand, like, if you feel like you're sucking at something, even the world's greatest experts are messing up every single time. Like, to nail a take the first time, I don't know really anyone that's ever done that. Does it happen? Sure. I'm sure if you rehearsed enough, you can nail it, but it's not reality. Reality is we mess up so many times until you nail it. And then you're like, okay, stamp it.
Yeah. Like, let's go with it. And the reality is those videos that are slightly imperfect are going to connect with people a little bit more, even subconsciously. They'll pay attention and go, oh, they goofed up. Or it's like, oh, little mistake, but I'm going to keep listening. So sometimes I keep listening to see if there's more mistakes. And the benefit is they're still listening to what's going on. Other people hear it and they instantly like connect because they feel that little bit of like, oh, I hope they get through this all right. And they'll listen. And then there's also that, hey, if they goofed up, then it's okay if I'm not perfect as well. And so they'll pay attention there, right? Like, I got a chance to, I was at an event in Brendan Burchard's. So this is years ago. It was right when he was launching Millionaire Messenger. And he had come out with one of his first bigger programs online. And he was sharing his funnel idea and what he did. And it was, he wasn't super edited. It wasn't some crazy graphics. It wasn't all that kind of stuff. It was him and a whiteboard and Post-it notes. And he just kind of talked, and he's like, it was full of errors, and we tried it a bunch of times, but just talking and showing that like it was simple and people connected with that simple. So anyway,
off the back of that, I mean, Blake is wearing the right t-shirt for today. You don't have to do things perfectly. You just launch him perfectly.
And on that note, that's the perfect thing to end on. We're past an hour already. Appreciate everybody being here. Blake, any last thoughts for us? Anything you want to throw out?
No, really quick. I saw Lynn had his hand up. If I want to make sure we just answer the question.
My question to you, Blake, is how do you feel about bot builders and Matt Lutz and that program?
Yeah, Matt's awesome. Anytime I promote something, guys, it's because I believe in it or I've used it. So I think Matt is one of the best in terms of building bots. He builds bots for Grant Cardone. I mean, you name it. He's a dear friend of mine, and he's really good at what he does. So when it comes to like adding automations and messenger bots and things like that, he's good. So I endorse it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
So a couple of things. Hoodie, we'd reviewed yours the other day. I'll go back and review yours and send you some info on it. One person was asking, I think it was Jackie, or there was a comment in here. Lucy, you log into your dashboard and then check your support tickets. She was just asking about, having an issue uploading. So either check your support tickets with us or with ClickFunnels. It's one of those two. But you can send me an email, Lucy, and we'll make sure that we get you what you need. And on that note, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much. Everybody give a round of applause to Darren and Blake. Thank you, guys.
And one more thing, guys. We have an awesome presentation happening in about an hour with Davin Michaels, another dear friend of mine. He has a really unique way of automating your business with virtual assistants. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it if you want to stick around. I think it starts at 2:00. I've been sending emails out to it. But yeah,
not on this link. So check your emails and the link is in there if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah, we'll show. It's a good presentation. So I would check it out. Other than that, you guys have been awesome. And I love hanging out with each and every one of you.
Appreciate you guys. Darren, Blake, thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That was good.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Awesome information.
Sometimes people
Awesome.
have what it
Great
takes, but they
job,
don't
Blake,
recognize it.
Darren, and
Guys, you are.
What you need to do is
It's different
and it's bigger than you think.
Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix.